Today, I will be showcasing to you the top 20 of my favorite Pokemon cards in my collection. Folks, we're not going to mess around at all. We're going to jump right into this video. Now, these cards right here are in no particular, well, they are in a particular order. They're going to go from oldest to newest. So let's get started here with this beautiful Japanese Holo Moltres from the red-green gift set. I saw this card come by an auction several years ago, and it took my breath away. I couldn't not buy this card. It was the most intriguing Moltres I had ever seen. One of the few graded Japanese cards that I own, and it is one of my favorites. I really wish I had the Articuno and Zapdos from this red-green gift set, maybe someday soon, because they are all magnificent cards, but this Moltres in particular, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. And this card right here is one of my top 20 most favorites in my collection. Up next, we have this Ghastly. Now you're wondering, why Ghastly? What's special about Ghastly? Ghastly and actually Haunter brought me into this hobby. Let me explain. So when I was in 4th or 5th grade, Pokemon was hot, as you all know. And I wanted nothing to do with it because I wasn't into fads at the time. The most current fad, I was like, this is whatever. I don't care, not interested. And then eventually, Pokemon got banned in my elementary school, as I'm sure a lot of other elementary schools ban these cards as well. So after these cards got banned, a friend of mine brought his in. He said, here, take these Pokemon cards. And he tried to hand me 2 cards, okay? And I said, no. No, it's forbidden. These cards are forbidden. You know, I was a good boy back in the day. He said, I demand you take these cards home. He threw them in my book bag on the way out to the bus. So as I'm riding the bus home, I open up my book bag and pull out a Ghastly and a Haunter. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the Haunter here to show you, but this Ghastly and that Haunter, I was looking at those 2 cards like, I was just mesmerized, like, wait, this Ghastly turns into this Haunter? And I don't know, something about those 2 cards put me in a trance. And as soon as I got home, I was like, Mom, we gotta go to the store. I gotta get Pokemon cards, and that's, the rest is history, right? So this Ghastly right here is very nostalgic for me and very important in my collection. Up next, we have the base set Charizard. Now, why this Charizard in particular? Well, this is the childhood Charizard. This is the PSA 7. Take a look at the back of it. It's got some love around the edges there. Very well loved, and it's just the card that everybody wanted back in the day. It was the pool. I have a whole bunch of PSA graded base set Charizards in my collection, as you already know. This base set Charizard is one of my favorite cards of all time. Here we have a first edition shadowed PSA 10 Machamp that you got from the 2-player starter theme deck. The reason I love this card so much is not only the holofoil is just so eye-catching, but this is one of the few holos from this set which actually had some action to it. Like, if you look real closely, you can see Machamp's arms in the holo, like it's throwing super fast punches. I love the rainbow swirls. I love everything about this card. This is the embodiment of Pokemon to me. One of my 2 favorite holographic cards from base set, and yeah, this is a very nice example as well. I love it. One of my favorites for sure. Up next, we have my favorite card from Fossil set, another Moltres. This is the Moltres rookie card on the English side. This is a first edition PSA 10. A super nice example. I love the swirling flames in the background. This was always one of my favorite cards growing up, and I love that I have it in a PSA 10. Here we have, from Team Rocket set, a first edition Holo Dark Dragonite. Look at that holofoil. It is so stunning. I believe there are only 2 Dragonite cards from base set up through Gym Challenge. This would, of course, be the second one, and this is actually my favorite of the 2. I know a lot of people love the Fossil Dragonite, probably more than this one, but I don't know. This one right here is just, I don't know, it can't be beat. I love the Fossil Dragonite as well, don't get me wrong, but this one here is my favorite of the 2, and it's just so beautiful, and yeah, not much else to say. Speaking of Team Rocket set, here is a beautiful Dark Raichu. I actually had this reslabbed. This is an older cert, but it's a beautiful looking card. the very first secret rare card, back when secret rare cards actually meant something. You know, it's 83 out of 82. Now it's like there's 50 to 100 secret rares per set nowadays, if not more. So this one actually was very significant back in the day. My favorite Raichu card of all time. Yeah, it is just so beautiful. I love that it's in my collection. Up next, we have 3 cards. These are all from Neo Genesis, which is probably my favorite set of all time. We have a beautiful, look at that. Oh man, look at that swirl right there. Some Slow King cards, or a lot of cards from Neo Genesis have like double swirls going on, which is pretty incredible. But I'm pretty content with that swirl right there. Beautiful card right there. Alongside this Pichu. This is one of the first baby Pokemon that was introduced. I just love the coloration in the background there. And then the Typhlosion 17. Such a difficult card to grade, especially in a PSA 10. These 3 cards are my favorite 3 cards from Neo Genesis. I think the holo pops on these the most out of any cards in that set. And yeah, I love it. Up next, we have a card from another awesome set, Neo Revelation. Neo Revelation is probably my second favorite set of all time. This is probably my favorite illustration of Ho-Oh. Not a whole lot of holofoil to show off, but just the illustration of this bird is so just bad-a. I love it. This is a PSA 9. Not worth that much, but this video is not about the most valuable cards in my collection, but rather the most meaningful cards and the one that I cherish the most. I actually graded this card myself. I have no intentions of selling it. I think it's actually a PSA 10 worthy card, but I don't plan on regrading it or anything. I just love having it in the collection. Beautiful, beautiful card from Neo Rev. Here we have these 2 guys, the Shining Magikarp and the Shining Gyarados. This Shining Gyarados is one of my all-time favorites. I'm trying to capture the holo. It's quite difficult. It's a dark card in general. You can see more of a holo in the Shining Magikarp, but I actually picked these 2 cards up from my local comic book store. I asked to see them. I thought, wow, these look really, really clean. This is way, way back in the day. I got a good deal. I think I got like one for $50, the other one for $70 in mint condition. Decided to have them graded, and they came back as mint copies, and I couldn't have been more thrilled. Yeah, these 2 guys right here are awesome additions to my collection. Up next is another card I graded myself. This is the Lucky Stadium Black Star promo card. This is the original, in my opinion, the original special delivery Charizard, and it's even got the extra Pokemon and Pichu on it. I love it. This is like a maxed out promo to me. You got Charizard, Pikachu, and Pichu. It's also quite rare to get your hands on it. Even a raw copy is pretty expensive, and I was so lucky as to have this one graded a PSA 10. Yeah, just one of those cards I'm probably never going to sell. I love it, and I was indeed lucky to get this card. All right, getting into the E-Series. E-Series is known for some incredible art. Starting off with Expedition Mewtwo. I wish I had these cards in holos. Maybe someday I will upgrade these to holo versions, but this is the Mewtwo holo from Expedition. This is the greatest Mewtwo card ever made. You won't be able to change my mind on that. Up next is the Feraligatr, also from Expedition. Once again, the greatest Feraligatr drawing, illustration, whatever you want to call it, ever made. I just love seeing this Feraligatr coming at you. You can see it under the water. It is such an awesome concept. And then here is the Umbreon from Skyridge. Such a beautiful card. I like this one and the one from Aquapolis as well, but I like this one a little bit better. All 3 of these cards are non-holo, but to me it's not about the value for these. It's about the illustration and just how awesome they look. So these are 3 of my favorite E-Series cards of all time. Up next, I actually just got this card in the mail today. It's my very first old school EX card. It's a Magmar EX from Ruby and Sapphire in PSA 10, and it looks so good. I do love that sparkling border. That's so unique to the EX era. Take a look at it. I haven't seen this card yet, at least in person, but man, it looks really, really nice. Yeah, my first and only EX card. I'm a huge Magmar fan, but Magmar doesn't have a lot of really awesome artworks, but this one right here is just so different. than any other Magmar card I've ever seen. It's so dark, it looks like it's staring at you from hell or something. I don't know. It's almost got like a blood red tone to it, combined with all that holo. I love it. I'm very pleased to have this in my collection finally. Alright, this here is the Holo Charizard from Black and White Legendary Treasures. And once again, just like the Magmar, this is a more unique take on Charizard, if you ask me, how it was drawn. I love the vertical line holo. That's also an interesting touch from the Black and White era. I do like the Cosmos version of this better. Oh boy, it's so expensive as a PSA 10. So I'm going to have to settle for this one for now. But yeah, this Charizard right here is a more unique design to me, and that's why I really like it. And last but not least, the only modern card in this video, it is the holographic Toys R Us Charmander promo from Evolutions. And just take a look at that. You got some double swirl going on right there and then right there. It just takes that base set Charmander art, which is awesome and nostalgic, and slaps a beautiful holo pattern on it. It's also a pretty valuable card as a PSA 10. There's not a whole lot of valuable cards from Evolutions because most of them have been so saturated in the graded card market. But this one right here is still pretty valuable. And yeah, just an iconic artwork of Charmander with this beautiful holo. Makes it one of my top 20 favorite cards in my collection. Thank you so much for tuning in. This isn't the type of video I usually make. I normally keep my collection more private. I'm not one to flaunt everything that I own, but I do like seeing other people's collections, so I thought you might want to see some of mine as well. If you did like this video, give it a like. Don't forget to be a subscriber. I appreciate you supporting the channel in any way possible. That's all I got for you, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. I will catch you all in my next one.